Hey everybody, Grant Miller here, Miami Community Newspapers. The Grant Miller here, it's a baseball term. With Miami Community Newspapers, we're with Missy Buck, who is the Instagram champ, Facebook champ, newsletter champ. She's the marketing champ of South Dade. And while I'm talking to you, she's working on her Facebook Live, telling all her people to please watch. Instagram, we're going to talk about Instagram. Now, Community Newspapers has an Instagram page. I do 2 or 3 videos a week about customers or about businesses, local owned, buy local. We keep it down to about 30 to 45 seconds. Misty, are you ready yet?
It's what I'm looking for.
She's still struggling at it. Okay.
No, not struggling. It's just like the internet's slow here.
Yeah,
on my
well,
connection.
my brother Michael has been trying to fix that out.
So, all right,
Okay.
I'm just gonna watch for this to come up, but we can talk in the
Yes,
meantime.
go. So let's talk about Instagram.
Let's talk about Instagram.
We get great feedback on it.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy because, if you got Instagram and you join a lot of people, just all these things are popping up.
Right.
So how do you make it more successful? How do you get more members?
On Instagram?
Yes.
So, really, again, I know we always talk about the coming down to your strategy for your business, for your audience, and that really is true for Instagram. So whether you're selling a product or a service, you have an audience there. Instagram is extremely popular across multiple age groups, and you really want to make sure, again, that you're producing content that, we talk about the 3 C's over at Missing. So content, communication, and consistency or conversation. And that means creating awesome content and putting it out there, making sure don't shy away from videos, by the way, because those do really well on Instagram, and posting often. Those 2 things, so content and posting often enough, your consistency, will help you gain traction with your audience and build your base and your engagement.
Now, Facebook, you could go, if you have a personal Facebook,
right,
you could go ask people. Instagram, how do you get people to join you?
Oh, so that's a really awesome question. So one of the things, as an example, that happened to one of my friends last week, he's trying to build his Instagram page. He's had his business for over 10 years. He's new to Instagram, and he's trying to figure out, how do I build my fan base? So he's interacting with people.
How do you interact?
Yeah, so you can look for people who like brands that might be similar to yours, or for instance, he's a wakeboarding company, so I'll give a shout out to them. Gatorboard Wakeboarding Company.
What's the name of it?
It's called Gatorbait Wakeboarding.
Gator, way to go, butter.
Is Marcos Ron. I've been friends with him for a million years, it feels like. And so one thing that you do is, so he has different partners of different brands of products and things that he uses. So you go in and do that. He has a lot of kids from local high schools that come and take lessons with him. So he'll interact with them through the schools. And so just, going in and being present. So not just following a bunch of people, but going in and looking for people that are similar, have similar interests to what it is that you're offering, and then interacting
Seems like
with
so
their
much
page.
work.
It's a lot. It is a lot of work.
That's why they hire you.
That's why people hire us.
They can hire you. They can hire somebody in that. When you hire somebody,
Yes.
whether it's you or some other company, or everybody hires their nephew who's 12 years old.
A lot of people do that, yeah.
The person who does that is also going to do Facebook, correct? It's
Typically, that's how it works. Not always. I've seen people sort of split things up depending on who wants to do what, but typically, yes.
Now, there's a question: can you do Instagram through Facebook or Facebook through Instagram? Do you run the same things? How long should your show be? Does it have to be a video? Can it just be a Word document?
A Word document. So technically, we're not posting Word documents on social media, but
Okay.
I'm telling you. So sorry,
I'm just throwing it out.
Spending too much time looking at Grant. So, there is a way to make them talk and connect, right? Because Facebook bought out Instagram several years ago, and so they're really an integrated duo, and they work really well together. However, I am a fan of doing things individually on each network, and that's because something that might be formatted well on Instagram, if it gets automatically posted, you turn on that button to auto post it to Facebook, it may not translate and look as well over there. Another example is, let's say that you want to get somebody to go to a link Well, on Instagram, you can't post clickable links in your caption like you would on Facebook. So, what you would have to do is put the link in your bio, come up with a photo or a video on Instagram as your media, because you can't post anything without media, meaning a photo or a video. And then do your caption, and you can say link in bio. Whereas on Facebook, you can just post the link, and Facebook will do the drop down of the link, the page of your website that you want people to visit, and they can just click easily and go to there. So that's one example of why you might want to keep them separate, although they certainly do talk a lot to each other.
Okay. What's the best way to build a following? Some people say you could buy followers.
Yes.
Well, that's ridiculous. Because
That's
you want
ridiculous.
followers who follow you because they like your product,
Right.
your brand, or your product.
Right.
Correct?
And you can really spot people who have fake followers, because let's say they'll have 500,000 followers, and then you go to their page and their posts have like 100 likes. That's not proportion to the number of followers that you have. Now, that's not to say there's a magic number of how many likes you should have per post proportionate to your followers, but it is that's one key that those might be
It's
fake.
interesting. Instagram, more people like than they do on Facebook.
Yes.
It's when we post my stupid videos on there, and people just go crazy over them.
Yeah.
So how do you build it again? I interrupted you.
Right. So there's a few keys. One is, I will tell you, cheating doesn't work. So here's what I mean by that. I have another person that I spoke with last week, another friend, who they said, hey, we got this app, and it's supposed to help us follow people, and then it'll unfollow people if they're not following us back, but my account keeps getting blocked. And I was like, well, that's why, because Instagram they're really getting really, really hard on cracking down on those types of apps that help you kind of go in and like bot, right? So if you're like bot, you can get a bot to leave comments. You can get a bot to like story posts, all kinds of different
things. Like YouTube, you could buy. I saw you could buy 5,000 likes for like $10, some stupid amount.
Right.
And what advantage is it?
People think honestly, it's an ego thing, and people think, oh, it looks nice. Perception is reality.
It's like being 6 foot. That's fake. Being 5'6", that's real.
That's a real person, right? No
Right.
offense to my husband who's 6'2", but
yeah, we won't get into that.
but yeah, exactly. So, and you can do that. So if you want it to look like there's a million people following you, fine, go ahead and buy those likes. But what's going to happen is that's not going to translate into business, because they're not real people. So I am a fan of quality over quantity.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, it's not how many people watch the show, it's who watching it.
Correct.
It's not the circulation of a product. If it's print, doesn't matter. It's like these cable companies or radio, TV. All of a sudden they have a contest right before they get their ratings. That's
Right.
not real.
Right.
They go, okay, we're going to give out $20,000 for if you listen to our show every day, blah 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 blah. And that's when the company, what's it called, the checks radio stations how many listeners are on TV. Mm-hmm. It's not real. It's questions who's watching on a religious basis, and so we're happy when people are watching us because they want to.
Exactly.
Guys, we're not giving out money. We're not giving out food other than Arbetters hot dogs. We'll give out that.
Hot dogs.
Okay. Should you do certain colors? Should you have a certain trend for your Instagram?
Right. So this is a really interesting question. There's really two schools of thought on it. So I've seen accounts that sort of have no kind of rhyme or reason that do really well. Those kind of accounts, by the way, are usually people who are posting motivational quotes or something along those lines, that it doesn't really matter if they look the same across the feed, right? So if you go, and what we're talking about is if you go to somebody's Instagram feed and it looks nice and pretty, or there's a pattern, or all the color scheme is the same, the fonts are the same, really branding it to your business. So for all the clients that we work with, that is something that we try to do. We want everything to match, because we want that feel to be consistent across whether you're on a website, you're on their Instagram, no matter where you are. We want you to know that you're interacting with, for example, Panner and San Pedro. Like we want to have that same feel.
He pops up. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
On my LinkedIn, he pops up probably once every 2 days on my LinkedIn.
Good.
Yeah, and as you should all know, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook, if you're friends with them or you do business with them, not Panther, anybody. Mm-hmm. If you're friends with somebody who's on there or business with them, share it so it goes to your people.
Yes.
It's important.
You can really help
like
them
LinkedIn
out.
popped up, and then on LinkedIn, I always make a comment,
Right.
Because the Panther and Panther is a perfect example of just good people. They give back to the community, so you need to support those people.
Right.
Okay. Instagram. What's the most important thing to look at when reviewing
Analytics?
Yeah.
So it comes down to your goal. Some people, if you are an influencer, you might be looking at things like, for instance, like your likes. You might be looking at things such as comments. You might be looking at clicks to purchase, going to the other brand account. It depends on what it is that you're trying to achieve. But overall, you want to know that people are seeing your posts and that they are interacting with them, because that's going to tell you that people are interested in the content that you're posting. If you're not getting a lot of likes and you're not getting a lot of views, that might tell you, okay, I need to switch up my content and or my strategy. So maybe that means I need to run a contest. Maybe that means I need to do some ads. Maybe that needs to be, I have to brainstorm on my content and see what it is that people are interested in and what I can do more of to bring those numbers up.
You know, I look at, there's a gym called Stunner Fitness.
Oh, yeah, right down the street, right?
Yeah, one of the best boutique fitness center.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, this is it.
Oh,
A
yeah.
product of them. 10 pounds overweight, but the same 10 pounds.
The same, not any new ones.
But he posts stuff. His Instagram followers are followers.
Right.
They're not just watching once in a while. He posted something, I think it was 70,000 things. People shared it or liked it.
Oh, was that the one when the gyms were going to close
That's
again?
correct.
And he went in and made this phenomenal video. I actually started following
And you
him
know who
because
did
of
that?
that video.
Aaron's by Video did that.
Really?
Yeah. But point of it is, he has
That
true
was awesome.
followers.
Yes.
You know, I have videos that I do that get 200 views, and some have 2,000 views. That doesn't mean it's better or worse.
Right.
Because the 200, that person was so happy, and there's customers saw it and shared it, and so again, it's the quality of the people, correct?
It's the quality of the people, and keep in mind too, I think a lot of people get stuck on the numbers, but as an example, I'll do marketing tips on our Instagram feed, which is Miss Inc. LLC, and I'll do marketing tips videos there. And I don't necessarily get a ton of feedback on Instagram, but I'm telling you, time after time, I run into people or have conversations with them. They're like, man, I love your videos, or I've seen your videos here and I've seen your videos there. And it always kind of cracks me up because I'm like, oh, it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of people watching it, but people are paying attention.
Yes. And the question is, if I click on your video on Instagram, when does it count? As soon as I click, or it goes through? I mean, every time, if I clicked it once, that's a one view, correct?
Yeah, it's one like and one view.
How long? Does it, if you're on longer or shorter? No.
Well, if you rewatch it over and over again, now you have
Mine, I just
If
click
yeah.
all night till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I just how I click them.
You're just clicking away.
Right? You know, the certain headlines. Do you think that short or long captions, are they important?
I do think that people like a variation. Again, this is what I always tell people. Number one, look at what it is that you like to interact with, right? So some people may not want to read a really long caption, and maybe the post doesn't warrant a really long caption. But maybe you posting a couple paragraphs from a blog that you wrote, and that caption is going to draw them in to want to click the link to go read more about it versus just having a stock image. Hey, we wrote a new blog, go look at it, right? So I think that depends on what it is that you're posting about, and if it's something that resonates with that person, right? So if you're posting something, we go back to who's watching and who's really looking. If that passion comes through, whether it's a short caption or a long caption.
Usually, short captions are better. Attention span of people are really short, and now not everybody watches the video. How long should it be on Instagram?
The videos.
Yeah.
So. Well, it depends where you're posting it. If you're posting...
We do it about 50 seconds, 40 to 50 seconds.
Okay, so if you're posting... There's several ways to post videos on Instagram now, by the way. We have our stories, and each story is 15 seconds. So let's say you have a 30-second video. You're posting that as a story. What's going to happen is it's going to become 2 stories now, 15 and 15. You can post it as something in your news feed, so we're just like you would post any other photo, and those can be up to 60 seconds. Anything over 60 seconds is now going to become an IGTV video, and that longer form content is okay if you're talking about something that needs more attention for a
Is it
longer
you find
time.
it somewhere else or on your Instagram?
It's on your, so if you go to the page, you'll see a button that looks like a TV, and that's your IGTV button. And then now, of course, we have Instagram just introduced Reels a couple weeks ago, and that is to compete with TikTok. So that will also be in the same place.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I only watch it for the dances.
And the dog, I like the dog videos personally.
Whatever. But I mean, it's crazy how that just took off.
It took off. Well, I think it was sort of the perfect storm, right? We had this brand new app, something interesting. It's a little bit different. And then we had the pandemic, and now everybody's home, right? And we're all staying home, and we're looking for things to do, and we're bored.
Can you do the one?
One of the dances? Oh my gosh. So we tried to do
I love
one
when all
once,
the
and I
nurses
looked
do it.
so ridiculous.
You tried?
Yeah, we on our Miss Inc. one, we did when I had the office, when we were still going into the office, we did one of those TikTok dances. I looked pretty ridiculous, but we did do one.
Now, what are 3 ingredients to create an awesome profile bio?
An awesome profile bio. So I think you wanted to get straight into the point. You want to make it clean and simple. I love using emojis to call out certain pieces of content, but people will try to put like their whole life story in that bio, and it's like, what? So you know how you have like your 30-second commercial or your 10-second commercial when you're out there networking? It's like that, but even more to the point. So really about who you are and why people should follow you. So we're posting tips on this. Sometimes if you're super corporate, it makes it a little bit, you have to be a little bit more corporate because that's your brand anyway. But you can maybe just put your tagline. You can maybe put different things. But if you want people to take specific action, you can put that in there too. So like on mine, I have click the link below to get the book.
If you notice on this video show, we have our email or our webpage. If you have any questions, whether you have some other company working for you, you got your cousin's nephew who's 12 years old doing it, you could contact her, and she'll help you out. Okay, I get a lot of engagement through my comments, but the likes on my post fall way behind the average. How can I fix that? Or do I have to worry about it?
I wouldn't be so. It always comes back to your goal. So, and mind you, Instagram has been experimenting with hiding likes now because they're trying to not make it such a competitive, crazy.
It's crazy
thing.
How many likes did you get?
Yeah, exactly. So they're trying to hide that a little bit more. So I wouldn't be as concerned about if your likes are falling below your comments. Comments are someone's actually taking the time to do something and write something. If it's a legit comment, it's not one of those bots that we talk about. But I do think that, again, everything comes back to your goals. So if your comment, your caption for your post is comment with, then yeah, of course you want to see more comments. If you want to say like this post to enter our contest, then yeah, we would like to see more likes. It just depends again on what that goal is for that post.
Gotcha. All right, I just want to recognize your
Google social media calendar templates. A bunch of things will pop up. A tool that I really love to use is called Canva, and Canva, and that is a super easy graphic design tool, but they're also introducing all kinds of fun new features, and one of those is a calendar where you can plan out your content.
Next question. Should my Instagram post contain more information, graphics, or business product photos? You know, we all get confused.
Right.
I mean, what do we do? How many times do we post? How many times we don't post?
Right.
You know, what do we post? What's your recommendation?
Yeah, those are really interesting questions. So
10 questions in one.
10 questions in one. So I'll give an example. I like to give examples. I think that makes things clear. But for instance, last week we had a client. We had 2 really important things that we had to announce on the same day. But we knew if we posted them too close together, it wasn't going to give each of them enough time to get seen and get into Instagram's algorithm. So we posted one in the morning, and then towards the end of the day, we posted the other one. Again, the reason being we wanted to give the one in the morning enough time to start to gain traction before we posted something else. This is not the old days of Instagram where things would just post chronologically no matter when you posted it and everybody would see everything. Remember, like we've been talking about over the last few weeks, Instagram is going to show you what it thinks it wants you to see, and one of the markers for that is not only things that you have previously interacted with, but also how many people are actually interacting with that post. So that's one answer to that question of how many things you should post and how often. And I forgot we had like 12 other questions. I don't think I got to them all.
But I got a question. You says it's what they like, Instagram. It's almost like Big Brother.
Yeah,
are we in Russia? We're in China? We're in Cuba? What is this?
Oh, the amount of data.
Is that why Trump's fighting
amazing.
them all the time?
It's one of the reasons, I'm sure, that we got into all the problems in the last election.
I mean, it's like, and whether it's Facebook, Instagram, somebody has to decide. If they own it, they get to decide. I know somebody posted something about Larry Bird's comment, and all of a sudden it got shared everywhere, and all of a sudden, bam,
disappeared.
It was a touchy issue about the basketball and the shooting, but somebody has to approve it, and somebody has to disapprove it. And if they're the owner, when you become the owner of Facebook or Instagram or any other media, you get to make those decisions. And sometimes, if it's not political, and they really like it, they will not boost it, but they'll share it more.
Essentially, they can do anything they want, right? It's their business; they can run it any way they want.
You're on their platform.
You're on their platform, so there has been a lot of flack with what are they hiding, what are they taking down. Twitter's gotten in a lot of heat. Some people either heat with some people, and other people agree with what they're doing. I mean, it's really, I think, a perfect picture of kind of what's going on in our world. Like, oh yes, this should be shown, and no, that shouldn't be shown.
Exactly.
So it just sort of is. And again, they're companies that have incredible technology and analytic tools, and we get into the algorithms, and they're continuing to be tweaked. But at the end of the day, it's run by humans.
Right. It's interesting on Facebook. We do a Facebook Live on XYZ, no views. We do one on STV, same thing, just a different speaker. Bam, it takes off.
Right.
So, and each of those people didn't have big on Facebook, but Facebook said, we like this.
Right.
So it's interesting. Okay.
It's true.
Any other issues about Instagram other than it's totally confusing?
It's totally confusing.
How to post it. What's your secrets on it?
I don't know that I have. This is what I tell people.
Hold on. Shh. Don't tell anybody.
If I had, here's the first thing I'm going to say. If marketing this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's like an art. So if I had a formula and I could figure it out, 1 + 1 = 2 for social media and marketing, and that 2 equals you're going to make a bunch of money out of it, I would be a freaking billionaire. But that's the thing, is that there's so many ins and outs, and the secret, I think, is you just have to make a commitment and study it and be consistent with it. I think we talked about this last week. Don't feel like you have to be on 5 different networks. Pick 1 or 2 of them, spend the time there, listen to the people who are experts at it that are trying to guide you through it, and just pay attention. It's really time intensive, and I think that actually might be the secret. There's no easy way to just, I'm going to post whatever. I think you have to find out what people are really interested in. You have to find your personality, get those videos out, and just play with the content, but you have to be consistent with it, and you just can't give up whatever, or I don't have time for it this week, and then it turns into another week and another week and another week. You're not going to build anything that way.
So on that note, let's say you have 100 customers. First of all, any type of business, find out who your customers are.
Yes.
Find out where they live.
Yes.
Okay, so when customers come, you have a drawing to win free lunch or free something. So you got where they live, and male or female. So now you're breaking it down, male or female, how far they drive.
Right.
So that after you do a couple hundred, you're going to go, that's my market. You don't need a test market, everything. Do 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Find out who they are, male, female, age. They're going to win $1. They'll win something. Get all this information and where they live, and try to get their email. But more important, where they live. Then you're going to go, all right, now that's my target. And what do they like? So they bought, let's say it's a clothing store. They bought these certain shoes.
Right.
That's where you have to go. If they're buying shoes, push more shoes. Correct. Don't try to push something else. They're there buying shoes.
Right. So one way to look at that is in a simpler term is
in English. That's what she meant.
Is one part, I think, is what problems are you solving for your customers, and How do you figure that out? People say, oh, no, I don't know, I'm cleaning their pool. That's solving their problem. But what's really the problem? Maybe they need somebody to be there consistently. Maybe it's a budget thing. Maybe it's whatever it might be. I think you have to look at those. How do you look at those? You listen to your existing customers. Pay attention to what they're asking you. What are those questions that they are asking you, those frequently asked questions that maybe you answer over and over and over again? And that's going to start to point you in the right direction to building those buyer personas or demographics.
Good. Okay, so I also got Rory Hardiman, Anthony Truesdale, Frank from North Dades. So we have quite a few people listening. Okay, question. My budget's really low for ads and promotions on social media. What are some ways I could drive people to my profile or post without spending a lot of advertising money?
That's a really great question. So sometimes you just have to do the groundwork, and that might mean, yes, you can put it in your email signature, but sometimes you just got to directly ask people, like, hey, did you know that I have an Instagram account? Or are you on Instagram? I want to follow you from my business. Or in your business, putting up signage that's really clear and present that, hey, we're on Instagram, come find us here. You can use your email list if you have it. If you have text message marketing, you can text people like, hey, follow us, we'll follow you back. There's a few different ways that you can reach people. And again, it comes down to being human. What would you want? Like, what would make you say, oh, yeah, you have Instagram, great, I'll follow you back too.
It's interesting. Every time I meet somebody, we start talking. I said, we're on Instagram. Are you you a follower? And they go, no. I said, hold on, pull your phone out.
Yeah.
I said, find us, community newspapers, and they follow us.
Right.
You know how you build a big group of Instagram followers? One at a time.
Exactly.
So every time I probably do myself 15, 20 a week. Mm-hmm. Make them pull the phone out, make them push that button. Because sometimes I'm busy, I can't find no, do it now. So Instagram is just a different avenue. Last week we did Facebook.
Right.
This week we did Instagram. And what are we going to do next week?
Well, one of my ideas, actually, I think we can get into another network, but I was also thinking that people have a hard time building content. That's one of the questions that I get the most is, how do I create a content plan? So maybe we can do something around that. Okay,
content for your Facebook, for your newsletters, for your webpage, for your blog.
Yes. Just your marketing. Like, if you're doing it yourself, what in the world do I post? That's what people get. When they come to us, it's two things. One, I don't have the time, and
two, I don't have the money.
Two, so I don't have the time, and I don't know what to post. I get stuck. I started doing it on my own, but I don't know what to post. That's not my thing. So.
All right. It's great. We do this. What's it called? Marketing
Monday.
Yes.
Marketing
same
Monday.
Time every Monday at 12 o'clock to about 12:30. We're going to talk about marketing ideas. You can reach Ms. Buck on her webpage. And if you have ideas, email her.
Yes.
Have her come up with some ideas. You're also involved. Tell us what you do in your spare time.
Oh, in my spare time. Well, I have a blog that's separate that I write about mental health specifically for athletes. So I have a book that I wrote about that.
Do you have the book with you?
No, I didn't bring it.
Last week you brought it.
I did.
Somebody, I don't know who it was, brought that up to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think you as that part, but they remembered the book.
Right. That's funny.
Not that you do communications, but that you wrote a book about athletes.
Yeah, for mental health.
So keep going. You get the book. Go what else?
Yeah, so that's something that I like to write. That's how I got into marketing to begin with. So that's why I keep that blog. I'm really big into mental health and wellness, body, mind, soul, all that. So that's something that I do that I think is good for me, but it's good for other people too. I'm also, I work out a lot. Like that's where I just go to clear my head, right? So that's one of my hobbies.
It's working for you, not me.
Not for you? Well, we need to go talk to the guys at the gym.
What?
We need to go talk to the guys at the gym.
It's not the gym.
It's the diet.
Gabriel says, Grant, it's not that you don't work out hard and long. It's your eating habit.
That's what do they say? That's like
lunch,
90%.
At lunch, I had a brownie that was about 2,000 calories. Friday or Saturday, I went to Cheesecake Factory and had a slice of Reese Cup cheesecake.
And that's easily over 1,000 calories.
Oh, please, about 2,000.
Yeah, you don't realize.
I didn't include the whipped cream and everything else with it.
Right.
Okay, so next week, Marketing Monday with Misty. If you have any questions, call her. And now you're going to close it out. Ready, Tommy? She's going to close it
We're
out.
ready? All right. I want to thank you guys. I hope you have an awesome week. We'll say Marketing Monday, Marvelous Monday, all those fun things. Keep it healthy, keep it safe. Remember to take care of yourself. I know these are super stressful times, but I think it's even more important to carve out that me time and just make sure you take a few minutes for yourself. Take a few deep breaths. Don't worry, everything will work out. We're going to figure this all out together, right? So have a great week.